What's up, Alphas? It's your boy Alpha Zell, mate. We looking cute, we looking clean, and we looking sexy. And today we got a topic we gotta talk about. We gotta talk about a thing. We gotta talk about cancel culture. Is it real? Is it not? Is it fake? Is it make believe? Does people really get canceled? All the questions that you want to ask, we want to go over it. And we're about to do it.
OVR.
All right. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this real quick. Cancel culture. Cancel culture has been a thing going around, a way to hold accountability, right? That's what cancel culture is. It's something to hold accountability, hold someone to a certain standard that society deems acceptable, or one side or another side, similarly hypocritical at times, just going over whatever to do what they have to do to make their values, let's say. Basically, the conservative values, the abstain from this and doing this, and when somebody goes against that belief, you should get rid of them. If somebody don't agree with you, it's typically started as a more liberal thing, as holding people accountable. The people in the code, the Harvey Weinsteins, the Bill Cosby's allegedly, all these people, it was to hold them accountable because they were powerful men who ultimately came up and was abusing their power in the wrong way. We see it with Blizzard recently and many other cases of that ilk. And it started off as an accountability thing, and then it goes into some people that do things we don't like, right? People that disagree with our opinions, people that disagree with our thoughts, how we do things and how all this goes. Those type of people, those are the people it seems to sometimes affect. And sometimes we need to hold accountability to this perfect lifestyle, this perfect look, this perfect idea of life. This, you have to do exactly as we say, or this most of the pop grab. But then it also calls something else, right? It calls a lack of accountability too, where people would offend people no matter what they do. We can't just admit they did wrong, right? It's either one extreme or the other. They have to either be strictly 100% for or against, right? You have to be for it. You have to be against it. You can't harbor mediocre feelings. You can't harbor anything that might be regular thought, right? Like, oh, you did bad. You should be criticized for it. You should be admonished, but you shouldn't lose your job. You shouldn't be attacked every day for the rest of your life. You should be admonished. You should actually want to make a legit apology. You should never act like that again. If you do, we're going to handle you. But instead, with these situations, it has come to, you have a crowd of people that defend you, and you ultimately, if you don't have a company behind you or said anything, that you just ultimately just go and say, screw it. Forget it. They rocking with me. My people rock with me. They know the truth, even though it might not necessarily be the truth, right? It might not, you might be in the wrong, but I don't have to be held accountable because I got people rocking with me, because we're fighting this thing that's attacking whatever group tribe we go with, right? If a black man does wrong, we got a tribe of black men because they trying to take black men down. If it's a group of black women done, we'll excuse their behavior. They had a reason for it, right? Because men are evil, or whoever is attacking them is evil. Same thing with regular women and every other group. Every other group got the same thing going on. We have this same idea, this same tribal mentality that all of a sudden, that if you ultimately disagree or don't believe what I did was right, we have to fight back against the powers to be because it's so aggressive. And that's not right either. You should be able to get criticized. You should be able to lack understanding, be acceptable to lack understanding, be criticized for it, be ridiculed for it, come back a better person. You should be able to do that. That should be the given right to anyone who has not committed a severe crime. If you commit a crime, you should be in jail. First off, if you commit a crime, you should be in jail. And whatever your penance is, your penance. I'm just talking in terms of cancel culture, right? In terms of accountability. I don't think you should lose your job for stating an opinion that's different than mine, even if I think your opinion is completely stupid. And the last thing I want to say on this is people have the right to unfollow. They have the right to dislike. They have the right to not agree. They have the right to not buy your product. They have the right to feel the way they feel. Everyone has that right. So I hate when people come up and cancel like you shouldn't unfollow somebody because I didn't think what they did was bad enough. But if you feel that way, you should. And I accept it. I accept it on my end. I accept that you might not like something I say. And you might want to unfollow me for it. And I accept that. You might not like me or like the way I talk or the way I speak or the way I give my truths. And you have 100% the right. I might think it's stupid. I might think it's silly. But you reserve that right. I reserve the right to do the same thing. I don't think you should make somebody have to forcefully agree with you. And that's part of society. We should be able to accept the fact that I might have to earn that follow back. I might have to earn that subscribe back. If you like what I'm saying, hit that like and subscribe button. Normally this would be about sports. There ain't much going on in sports this week, so we're gonna talk about this because we got a podcast tomorrow called. We're gonna do What's New 99 tomorrow, so we're gonna do What's New 99 or keep it 99. I ain't decided yet. But we're gonna do a podcast tomorrow. It's gonna be on all Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, Spotify. So follow us, 99 Media. It's not overall 99 Media. It's 99 Media on that. But hit that like, subscribe button here. We got Backseat Game. We got Have You Heard? We got Do You Hear Me? All that stuff on here. Usually exclusively, but Do You Hear Me is on Joe's platform. So we got those things going on. But you reserve the right to you have the right to disagree with me right now and not follow. And I'm okay with that. Sometimes you gotta be okay with who you are, right? You gotta be okay with the person you are and your ability to focus on what you need to focus on. Because we have that right. You have that right to believe what you want to believe. You have that right to believe and do what you got to do. And people reserve that right. And I feel like we losing that ability slowly. The ability to, I think you have a group of people who have a lack of accountability and don't want no action because they believe in this false sense of freedom that doesn't really exist and never existed. And you didn't hear these people that this obsessive accountability and all the people that's somewhere in between that makes sense. No one has it. And that's all I gotta say, because you need to keep stopping. Why? Because even if things go bad and your life go bad today, of all days, maybe you won't get canceled. But maybe, just maybe, something amazing happened. Fly right past